Starship Flight 12 is gearing up to be the most important milestone in SpaceX's 2025 roadmap, and this time, the upgrades are massive. After the successes and unexpected surprises of Flights 10 and 11, SpaceX has quietly implemented changes that will completely redefine how Starship performs in launch, re-entry, and in-space operations. Today, we're breaking down every major upgrade, what it means for the future of Starship, and why Flight 12 may be the last test before regular operational flights begin. We start with the biggest upgrade of all, a redesigned heat shield system. SpaceX has spent months reworking tile attachment methods, testing new tile shapes, and even experimenting with a more flexible tile array. Flight 12's heat shield features improved tile venting, meaning hot plasma can escape without ripping tiles off during peak heating. The new tile geometry is also more curved, improving airflow and reducing vibration. Early tests from Boca Chica show the shield now resists shock forces nearly 30% better than previous designs. If this works, Flight 12 could set the standard for the heat shield that will eventually protect astronauts during lunar and Martian returns. Another huge upgrade is the improved Raptor engine cluster. For Flight 12, the Raptors received a new ignition system that is more reliable under extreme temperatures, especially during boostback and landing burns. SpaceX also upgraded the turbopumps to reduce cavitation, which has been an issue during rapid throttle changes. The engines are also said to produce slightly higher thrust at sea level due to new nozzle shaping. The combined improvements could give the booster and ship more control authority, more efficient burns, and smoother transitions between flight stages. Structural upgrades to Starship's stainless steel body are also making headlines. For Flight 12, SpaceX has reinforced the interstage, giving Starship more rigidity during hot stage separation. They've also added more internal sensors to measure bending loads, heat flux, and vibration. These sensors will help SpaceX gather more detailed flight data than ever before. The payload bay section has been strengthened as well, suggesting SpaceX is preparing Starship for heavier commercial payloads and possibly crew-rated hardware tests later in 2025. Super Heavy Booster 14, which is set to support Flight 12, features a redesigned grid fin structure using a new alloy that is both lighter and more heat-resistant. SpaceX wants the booster to survive steeper re-entry angles, and the new fins are built to withstand higher thermal stress. The booster also includes an upgraded autogenous pressurization system to prevent pressure drops during full-power burns. And for the first time, SpaceX is testing new internal baffles inside the main tanks to improve propellant stability during high-G maneuvers. One of the biggest surprises heading into Flight 12 is the new Mechazilla catching algorithm. While SpaceX may not fully attempt a catch yet, the tower is ready for partial catch testing, with the arms performing real-time tracking as the booster descends. This marks a major step toward routine booster reuse, and early reports suggest that Mechazilla's software now predicts booster trajectory with much greater accuracy. Even if they don't catch Booster 14 on this flight, they're preparing for it. Another major feature debuting on Flight 12 is the upgraded hot stage ring. The previous flights showed a lot of exhaust blowback during stage separation. This time, SpaceX widened the exhaust ports and added more thermal shielding to ensure the booster survives separation with less damage. The new ring also includes reinforced shielding on the Starship side to better withstand the intense heat from all 33 Raptor engines firing during hot staging. Flight 12 also introduces new aerodynamic tweaks. SpaceX has reworked the ship's flaps using a lighter internal skeleton and stronger hinge mechanisms. This should allow for smoother transitions during the belly flop maneuver and more stability during the flip burn. The vehicle's forward flaps now feature new actuator housings designed to prevent overheating during re-entry. These modifications are critical because flap performance is one of the most complex parts of Starship's re-entry sequence. Perhaps the most futuristic upgrade of Flight 12 is on the propulsion side. SpaceX is testing a revised methane conditioning system that improves combustion stability during high-altitude burns. This could improve Starship's reliability when performing orbital insertion burns, lunar transfers, or deep space maneuvers in the future. There are also hints of new thruster placement for roll control during re-entry, though SpaceX hasn't confirmed this publicly. Now, let's talk about avionics and software. SpaceX has implemented the next generation of flight computers with stronger radiation shielding and faster data processing. These systems will guide Starship with more precision during launch, stage separation, and entry. The software also includes predictive landing algorithms that model wind, rotation, atmosphere density, and thrust changes in real time. If Flight 12 demonstrates improvements in stability and accuracy, this new system could become the backbone of human-rated Starship flights. Another fascinating upgrade is the revamped tank insulation. SpaceX has redesigned the thermal protection layers around the methane and oxygen tanks to reduce boil-off, especially in orbit. Long-duration fuel storage is a critical requirement for Mars, and Flight 12 will test how well these new layers perform under different heating conditions throughout the flight. This could be the first step toward operational in-orbit fuel refilling tests later in 2025.
The payload section for this flight is also rumored to receive an upgrade. Sources close to SpaceX have suggested that the payload bay may include new mechanisms for hosting rideshare satellites or internal mass simulators. This will help to simulate the conditions of future commercial launches and provide more accurate flight data. Though Flight 12 is still experimental, SpaceX is clearly preparing for a transition to real missions. Another highly anticipated improvement is the enhanced landing sequence. SpaceX is adjusting the timing of the flip maneuver and refining the landing burn initiation. The improved Raptors, combined with data from previous flights, will allow for smoother and more controlled landings. Although Starship has yet to successfully land after an orbital test, Flight 12 might mark the closest attempt so far. It may not be a full landing attempt, but every second of controlled descent will provide SpaceX with critical insights for future missions. Perhaps the most exciting aspect of Flight 12 is how close it brings Starship to operational readiness. After several flights collecting key data, SpaceX is transitioning from proof-of-concept mode into iterative refinement. That means each flight from this point forward is designed to be more predictable, more stable, and closer to the final Mars-ready configuration. Elon Musk has mentioned that by late 2025, Starship might begin cargo deployment missions. Flight 12 could be the turning point that makes this possible. So what should we expect from the actual flight profile? Starship will follow a similar path to previous attempts: liftoff, hot staging, booster separation, and booster return. The booster may perform a more aggressive re-entry test, while the ship will aim for controlled re-entry and descent. The new heat shield, upgraded flaps, and propulsion improvements will all be put to the test as the vehicle re-enters the atmosphere at hypersonic speeds. Even if the ship does not complete a soft landing, improved stability and survivability during re-entry would be considered a major win. Flight 12 is not just another test. It is the first attempt at flying an almost operational version of Starship. If the heat shield holds, if the flaps stay stable, if the booster survives re-entry, and if the engines perform consistently, SpaceX will be closer than ever to launching cargo, satellites, and eventually humans to the Moon and Mars. The world is watching because Flight 12 might set the stage for the biggest leap in spaceflight technology in decades.